the Wednesday, March 1st, 2023 meeting of the Oregon City Urban Renewal Commission. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Frank O'Donnell.
Here.
Commissioner Adam Marl.
Here.
Commissioner Rocky Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Denise McGriff.
Here.
Commissioner Doug Neely.
Here.
Vice Chair Sean Cross is absent. Chair Mike Mitchell.
Here. Thank you. Do we have any citizen comments?
No.
Okay, and nothing online? All right, we will move on then to our discussion item number 1, the one and only, which is Urban Renewal Budget Committee appointments. Mr. Conkle?
Thank you. So before you tonight, we have the requesting approval of the citizens for the Urban Renewal Budget Committee. The terms are spelled out for each citizen member, and then the following citizens constitute the continuing appointed members of the Urban Renewal Commission budget that are currently on the Budget Committee. So this is really to have the Urban Renewal Commission appoint the citizen members of the Budget Committee for the Urban Renewal Agency so that they can participate during the budget hearings.
I'm not able to open the page with the names on it. Okay, so is there any discussion from commissioners? Any discussion from any of the commissioners about any of the applicants? So we have 4 that we're going to be voting on. What's the consensus of the group? We want to vote on them one at a time, or do we want...
I move that we approve the 3 nominees as submitted. Is it 3 or 4? 4 nominees as submitted. Mr. Zook and I interviewed each and every one of them, and they're all more than qualified to serve.
Okay, thank you for that. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Frank O'Donnell.
Aye.
Commissioner Adam Marl.
Aye.
Commissioner Rocky Smith.
Aye.
Commissioner Denise McGriff.
Aye.
Commissioner Doug Neely.
Aye.
And Chair Mike Mitchell.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on to communications.
I'll go ahead and, on the dais, you have the Oregon City and Urban Renewal Agency biennial budget calendar. I'll go over to Mr. Zook to kind of walk through some of the dates and for what we're anticipating for the Urban Renewal Agency.
Thank you, Tony. We are bringing this to you this evening as an updated calendar. As pertains to the Urban Renewal Commission, you'll notice that I've highlighted the process and the meetings that pertains strictly to the Urban Renewal Commission in purple. And one of the things that has changed from the last iteration that we put out in January was that the recognition of our election on May 16th for debt for urban renewal projects. And so that election happens on May 16th. Originally, the first meeting was scheduled for prior to that election. As a matter of process, we're going to actually release the budget the day after that election, knowing hopefully some results of that that evening, and then have our first meeting on May 25th. And if we need to carry to a second meeting, we'll meet on June 2nd. Those are both Thursday evenings. Both were open. And then subsequent to the Budget Committee meetings where the Budget Committee will approve the budget, Urban Renewal Commission, this body here, will have the budget hearing on June 13th, which is a Tuesday evening. The reason it's not on a Wednesday evening is because the time frame is so tight. We have publication notices that we are required by law to do, and we do those locally at the Oregon City News, which comes out on every Wednesday. So it's a tight time frame. We're going to meet on June 13th, Tuesday, which is the same evening as a city work session, so you'll be here already. If needed, if there are enough changes that trigger a second budget hearing, then we would meet again on June 28th, but that's a break glass emergency sort of situation, and I seriously doubt that would be the case. So As far as this Urban Renewal Commission goes, those are the dates we're proposing. The only date that's really changed is the, I guess all four of them have changed. I will bring your attention as well to the Budget 101, which we had scheduled for last Thursday due to the weather, and it was canceled. But we're going to resume or reschedule that meeting for March 20th. That's a Monday. It'll be at the Pioneer Community Center, and that's for both. That'll be for both budget committees. We have two distinct budget committees, one for the urban renewal, one for the city. Most of the members overlap. Four of them don't. So we'll be at the community center, and it'll just be we call it, Budget 101, and so have some training and just kind of refresh them. For the new members, it'll be brand new. For the veterans here, it'll be a refresh. But so we're hoping to distribute this calendar to the rest of the budget committee members this week, if we can get at least a nod on these dates. And I take care that most of these dates have already worked around every other existing meeting that you've had, so that there's not hopefully not a conflict.
Any questions for Mr. Zook? Commissioner McGriff?
Yes, I think the calendar is great. I would also suggest that you add the times on this piece of paper.
Great. Will do.
So the meeting on the 20th, is that going to be about the same time as it was?
Yeah, it's going to be 6 to 7:30,
Okay.
and then the budget meetings themselves will be from 6 to 8. We generally will have like we have this evening, a meal beforehand. So, but
That's just my only suggestion, is that you just add that on there so that people actually have it in front of them.
Okay, good idea. Any other comments or questions? Thank you for this scrambling. Oh,
Madam,
sorry.
on a separate matter.
Okay. All right, anything else on that topic? Okay, we'll move on to communications. Mr. Manager?
That was the only update that I had tonight. Thank you.
Okay. And comments from the commissioners? Mr. Morrow. Commissioner Morrow.
Thank you, Chair Mitchell. I don't know what the exact formal process of this would be, but I would like this body to entertain the possibility of forming a PAC, or a political action committee, in the lead up to the urban renewal ballot measure in May.
I'm going to ask a question. Is that appropriate for the commission to have a PAC?
This is something that governing bodies frequently use, whether it's the passage of a levy or a school bond. So
We know what the
I'm looking for
details
Mr.
of
Kabizman.
how to do that.
As Mr. Kabizman comes up, is any other comment from any other commissioners? I'm in favor of that idea as well.
Well, other people can belong to it. Wouldn't this be us?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be under us.
Good evening, and I can't say I'm that familiar with the concept of PACs. What I can tell you is that the body itself certainly can operate as as political actors. What you can't have is city staff working on any of those political actions, nor can you use city resources, but there's certainly no reason you can't be involved in the political process. And, keeping that dividing line of acting in the political process and not acting in the city process is going to be a tightrope to walk to make sure that we fully comply with public meetings requirements and other things. But certainly if you're acting as a PAC, you have to do a little more digging to make sure we know where those rules are. But you certainly can take that action if you want.
Commissioner Neely.
Yeah, sorry. I guess my question is, we could all be members of the PAC if we choose to, but would the PAC be under our name?
This is where we get into the regulations of political action committees that I'm a little uncomfortable. I don't know if it could be the Oregon City Commission PAC that to me, strikes a little problematic of a tone, but having a,
Because the point that, the PACs he was talking about was where the actual institution in question was seeking the funding. In our case, it's somebody that's applying to the Urban Renewal Commission for funds, and we could be willing to PAC to support that. But I would think it would not be appropriate for us to do it as a commission, but rather as individuals. Is that right?
so you clearly could do it as individuals. And as 7 or 6 individuals on here joining as individuals, you could do it. Could the Urban Renewal Commission act as a political action committee? I just don't know. I haven't had a reason to look into it, and I want to make sure.
What I'm asking is if we could get some more information so we know what this would look like. This is something I've talked to the city manager about way in the past, just because I remember leading into an election season. I think it was Lake Oswego, they had signs up for their parks bond or something that was going up. And so I was just curious about what that would look like.
Yeah, and it is a line we have to walk. Clearly, you as individuals can participate in the political process, and clearly, city staff and city resources can't be used in the political process. And how that line gets drawn when this group acts as a whole, we just want to make sure we stay on the right side of that line.
Okay, so you'd like an opportunity to research it further and
Yeah.
bring it back to us, whether we can,
Yeah.
as a body, take part in or initiate a PAC,
Yep.
right?
And I can get that back to you.
Any commissioners with questions for Mr. Kabizman to pursue? Commissioner O'Donnell?
Not a question, it may be premature, but I have no interest in being a participant or a member of a PAC that bears this name. I think if individuals want to do it,
Yeah.
let them do it on their own. I don't want it to bear the name of the Oregon City Commission. I think our job is to advocate for the will of the people and to respect the will of the people. And much as I've heard from some members of the community, like, well, we should be out there, advocating for this thing to go. My role is to listen to the will of the people, and I have no objection to individuals here, if they want to form a PAC separate and distinct from their role as Oregon City Commissioners, feel free, but I will not be a member of it, and I would vote against that pursuit. Thanks.
I feel the same way.
Commissioner McGriff?
Yeah, I don't have any objection to us getting more information. I would also concur, I don't think that us as a body forming it, but if we as individuals want to create some sort of a pact, I think that that's entirely appropriate. And there would obviously be others, but I don't think having, whatever it's going to be called, if such a thing happens, I don't want the word urban renewal attached to the PAC.
Urban Renewal Commission?
Right, or
Yeah.
commission or urban renewal. I mean, it could be, save our city. I don't know what it would be, but,
Okay.
So I'm not against looking into it further, but I'm not supportive of us as a body doing it, because to me, let's just say it smells bad. And I don't want the perception out there that we are doing something as an organization when we have a fiduciary responsibility to the public.
Okay, so there's no serious objection to getting additional information from Mr. Kabizman, and then we figure out where we go from there?
I would support that.
Is that the consensus?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple of no's over here, I think, but, yes?
Since I think most of us are in agreement we ought not to do it as a body, I don't know why we need the
Investigate
information.
it. Exactly.
You can get it to us individually.
Well, no.
Well,
What, I'm trying to figure out how best to put it. I can't advise you in terms of how to be a political committee as a body. I wouldn't want to cross that line. What I can tell you is where the line is. It's like at what point do you could the Urban Renewal Commission as a whole, as a body, form a PAC? I can answer that question. Clearly you can do it as individuals. What you can and can't do as a body is certainly something I can answer.
That would still be good information to know regardless.
Yeah.
I feel it detracts from the appearance of objectivity. But if you want to, if Commissioner Morrow, as a private citizen, wants to pursue this, that's fine, but I'm dead set against this commission being associated with that in their role as their renewal commissioners.
I'm going to make a motion that Mr. Kabizman does not come back with that information, and that we as individuals can come together and form a PAC with other people if we want. So I'm opposed to him even researching whether we as a commission could become a PAC.
Okay, so that was, your motion
You
is
say
to
opposed?
Not do it.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. So we have
does that
a motion.
And let's be clear on what the motion is.
Right, so the motion is for Mr. Kabizman to not pursue,
We're not going to do any work on this?
the idea of the Urban Renewal Commission as a body being a part of the formation of a PAC,
That's right.
which means,
I'm not, no work.
which means that we won't have the information. So
Right.
the
You can
motion
find
you're
the
making really
information yourself.
maybe isn't getting to where you want to be. Because we still
Anyone
haven't
that wants to
decided.
do that can find their information themselves. We're not using this body to have staff look into it. If only individuals are going to be doing it, that's on your own. Why would we do that?
Right.
Makes no sense.
Okay, well, we have a motion and a second. Does everybody understand what we're voting on? Yeah. We're voting on Mr. Kabizman not pursuing the idea. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Frank O'Donnell,
Aye.
Commissioner Adam Marl,
Aye.
Commissioner Rocky Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Denise McGriff,
Aye.
Commissioner Doug Neely,
Aye.
and Chair Mike Mitchell.
No.
Motion passes.
Okay. Commissioner Morrow.
Thank you. And again, I just want to reiterate that this was just a pursuit for further information, and so obviously this is something I'm happy to look into myself, but I'm sure we can have another conversation, because I think this is something that, as a city, we would look into for further things down the road as well, not just for something like this. So, thank you.
Anything else? Anything else from anybody? Okay, we're adjourned.